Do we truly understand the full story of creation? From a young age, many of us were taught that humanity is the center of creation, that Adam was the first, and everything else revolves around the appearance of mankind. But what about the details that few ever mention? There are mysteries in the Bible that most modern teachings either overlook or avoid. Has history forgotten them, or worse, intentionally hidden them? Before Adam was formed from the dust of the ground, the Bible mentioned a mysterious group of beings, the sons of God. Who were they? And why is their presence so rarely discussed in today's teachings? Imagine turning back the clock, returning to a time before the Garden of Eden, before mankind, before light was separated from darkness. In that earliest moment, the sons of God were already there, witnessing creation unfold. They were present when the foundation of the universe was laid. But why were they there from the very beginning? What was their true role in the grand design? The book of Job reveals a powerful detail when God asks Job, "Where were you when I laid the foundation of the earth?" When the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy. Job 38, 4-7. This question is more than a rebuke. It reveals a profound truth. These beings existed before the world was formed. They rejoiced at the birth of the cosmos. So if Adam was the first man, who were they? Where did they come from? In Genesis chapter 6, the sons of God appear again, this time not just as observers, but as participants. They saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful and took them as wives. From this union came a strange new race, the Nephilim, giants of old. Many today see this as myth, but was it really just a legend? Maybe we haven't been told the full story. The Bible records these events, yet modern teachings seem to gloss over them, as if they're unimportant. Could there be something that has been hidden for thousands of years? And if other beings existed before Adam, then is humanity really the center of creation? Or are we just a small part in a much larger, more complex plan that we still don't fully understand? These questions could reshape the way we see history, faith, and even human identity. If you feel curiosity stirring within you, prepare yourself, because what we're about to uncover may challenge everything we thought we knew was true. To truly understand who the sons of God are, we must do something different. Turn back the clock, revisit ancient texts, and uncover what has been forgotten or perhaps deliberately hidden for centuries. If they existed even before Adam was created, then is the creation story we've been told truly complete? Or are there truths concealed within the very pages of the Bible that most have overlooked? In fact, many read the Bible without realizing that the sons of God appear in multiple passages. They are not mere background characters, but key figures in the spiritual order, both before and after the creation of humankind. One of the most striking references appears in the book of Job. "Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation?" Tell me, if you understand, who marked off its dimensions? Surely you know. Who stretched a measuring line across it? On what were its footings set? Or who laid its cornerstone, while the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy? Job 38, 4-7. This question contains a vital detail. The sons of God were present before the world was formed. Not only were they there, but they rejoiced at the birth of the universe. But who are they? What is their role in God's grand design? Traditionally, many have assumed they are angels. This seems reasonable. Angels are spiritual beings who dwell in God's presence. But if they were merely angels, why doesn't the Bible call them that? Why use a distinct term, sons of God? Another significant passage appears in Job 1:6. One day the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them. This scene resembles a heavenly gathering, a divine council, not just a meeting of messengers, but a convening of beings with roles and rank. It suggests these sons of God are not mere envoys, but influential entities in the spiritual realm. Perhaps the most controversial reference is found in Genesis 6:2. The sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. This raises a profound question. If they were purely spiritual beings, how could they marry human women? Did they possess physical form, the ability to interact tangibly with the human world? Some scholars argue this suggests the sons of God were more than spirits. They could directly intervene in the material realm, and if they wielded such power, their role in human history might be far deeper than we've ever imagined. Psalm 89:6 offers another related verse. For who in the skies above can compare with the Lord? Who is like the Lord among the sons of God? This confirms that they are heavenly beings, not earthly ones. But if that's the case, could it be that the spiritual world is far more complex than the simple categories of angels and demons we commonly imagine? Given the repeated appearance of the sons of God throughout Scripture, a hypothesis begins to take shape. Perhaps there existed a divine hierarchy, a sacred order established before humanity itself, an order we have yet to fully comprehend. And the greatest question remains: if these beings predate Adam, what was their true purpose? Were they silent spectators or powerful entities playing central roles in the drama of creation? We are about to embark on a journey to explore one of the greatest mysteries of the Bible. Who exactly are the sons of God? Are they simply angels, or are they entities with a far greater role in the cosmic plan of creation? If the universe was not created solely for humankind, but is instead part of a larger, more intricate design, what does that mean for our understanding of our origins and our place within the grand scheme of creation? Traces of these beings are not mentioned just once, but appear scattered throughout various passages of the Bible. And a profound question arises: what happened to them after humanity came into existence? As we turn back to ancient texts, a story long forgotten begins to emerge, a picture we may have never fully seen or heard before. In the traditional understanding, the sons of God are often considered to be angels. In Job 38:7, Scripture says they shouted for joy as they witnessed the creation of the world, indicating that they existed before the earth was formed. This aligns with the belief that angels are spiritual beings created before mankind, serving roles as messengers, guardians, or worshippers of God. However, if they are merely angels, why did some of them dare to cross moral boundaries? In Genesis 6, a mysterious event is recorded. The sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, and they took them as wives. This is not merely a symbolic image. It appears to describe a real event, a crossing between the spiritual and physical worlds. Some extra-biblical texts, such as the Book of Enoch, refer to a group called the Watchers, fallen angels who abandoned their assigned domain to descend to earth, interbreed with humans and give rise to a new race, the Nephilim, giants. Could these be the very sons of God mentioned in Genesis? Moreover, there is another noteworthy theory suggesting that the sons of God are not just angels, but pre-existent souls created before the material world itself. In Jeremiah 1:5, God declares, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." If Jeremiah's soul existed before his physical body, could this also be true for other beings? According to this view, Adam was not the first creation, but the first earthly human being. This could explain why the sons of God were present before the earth was formed, and why they appear during key moments throughout the Bible, sometimes as allies, and other times as challengers of the divine order. Notably, these theories do not necessarily contradict one another. It's possible that multiple tiers of beings existed before humanity, some remaining loyal to God, while others rebelled and became opposing forces. If this is true, then they did not simply stand on the sidelines, they directly influenced the course of human development. One controversial idea also discussed is the gap theory, which posits a long, undefined period of time between Genesis 1:1 and 1:2. According to this view, before the current world, there may have existed an earlier creation, an ancient civilization, completely destroyed for reasons unknown. Genesis 1:2 states, "The earth was formless and void, and darkness was over the surface of the deep." However, in the original Hebrew, the verb often translated as was can also mean became, implying that the earth became formless. Could it have once had a different form, and if so, what caused its downfall? Some scholars link this to the fall of Lucifer. In Isaiah 14:12-15, he is referred to as the morning star, son of the dawn, a being once in a high position cast down from heaven due to pride. If this fall occurred in the gap between Genesis 1:1 and 1:2, the destruction of the previous world could have been a consequence of that rebellion. Thus, when Adam was created, the sons of God may still have been present, continuing to influence the newly formed order. They did not disappear, they simply changed the way they interacted with the world. Whatever their true identity may be, angels, preordained souls, or beings from a forgotten creation, one thing is undeniable: they existed before humanity, and they played a crucial role in the story of creation. If we truly understood who they were, perhaps our entire perspective on human history would need to be rewritten. After exploring the major theories surrounding the sons of God, a central question becomes increasingly clear. What was their true role in the divine plan? If they existed before the creation of humanity, what was their connection to the material world, and what became of them after mankind appeared? The Bible does not give us direct answers, but scattered clues found in scripture, apocryphal texts, and ancient religious traditions may help us piece together a fragmented picture of this cosmic mystery. If the sons of God truly existed before mankind, that implies a divine order had already been established. But how did this order function? Who held authority? Who governed? Many scholars believe the Bible describes a hierarchical spiritual system, with God as the supreme being, followed by angels, archangels, cherubim, seraphim, and other powerful entities. But where do the sons of God fit in this hierarchy? An intriguing theory suggests they were not merely angels, but part of a divine council, a heavenly assembly tasked with overseeing different aspects of creation. Psalm 82:1 supports this idea. God stands in the divine assembly, he judges among the gods. The word gods here is translated from the Hebrew Elohim, which can refer to divine beings or high-ranking spiritual authorities. If this interpretation is correct, then the sons of God may have once served as cosmic stewards, managers of the universe under God's direction. But if they held such authority, why do they seem to fade from biblical narrative after humanity's arrival? Did their role change, or did a major event force them into obscurity? According to Jewish and Christian traditions, one such event might explain it: Lucifer's rebellion. Some scholars believe that among the sons of God, there were those who turned against the divine order, triggering a cosmic conflict. This upheaval may have altered their role forever. Some were cast down, others continued to serve quietly. If some fell, what about those who remained faithful? Did they continue to watch over the world from afar, or did they withdraw completely from earthly affairs? What we do know, based on scripture and ancient sources, is that they existed, they intervened, and they may still influence our world, though in ways we have yet to fully perceive. Isaiah 14 and Ezekiel 28 describe a celestial rebellion led by Lucifer, portrayed as a radiant and powerful being who fell due to pride. His fall shook the heavens and drew other beings down with him, beings who later became adversaries of God and humanity. But what if this rebellion extended beyond the fallen angels? What if it involved a faction of the sons of God themselves? Perhaps some joined Lucifer in defiance, while others remained loyal. This might explain why the sons of God are portrayed positively in Job 38:7, yet controversially in Genesis 6:2. The Book of Enoch, though non-canonical, provides further insight. It describes a group called the Watchers, who descended from heaven, took human wives, and fathered the Nephilim, a hybrid race. Their actions violated divine law and provoked God's judgment. If the Book of Enoch holds even partial truth, then not all sons of God remained pure. Some fell, some remained faithful, and some may still be present, hidden among us in forms humanity no longer recognizes. Yet another theory offers a different perspective worth considering. Before humanity was created, the sons of God may have played a central role in the cosmic order. They weren't just witnesses of creation, They may have been the original rulers of Earth, but the arrival of Adam and Eve marked a profound turning point, a divine transfer of power. In Genesis 1:28, God declared, "Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, and every living thing that moves on the earth." And this wasn't just a blessing, it was a mandate, a divine decree placing earth under human stewardship. But that raises a deeper question. Who held that dominion before Adam? If earth wasn't unclaimed, then the sons of God may have once been its spiritual governors. In that case, Adam's creation wasn't just a new beginning, it was a cosmic shift in authority, redefining the spiritual hierarchy. But did this transfer happen peacefully? Or were there beings unwilling to accept their loss of power? If some of the former rulers refused to step aside, then the conflict between them and humanity may not be ancient history, it may still be unfolding. Rather than vanishing, these entities could still be working behind the scenes, attempting to influence, manipulate, or even derail the course of human development. Could this unseen resistance be the source of the spiritual darkness humanity has faced throughout history? If so, are we living in the midst of an ongoing, invisible war between ancient beings and the divine purpose behind humanity's creation? The Bible's silence on this subject creates a space filled with mystery. If the sons of God once played a central role before mankind, then it's clear we have yet to fully grasp the link between the spiritual realm and the physical world. And perhaps the most thought-provoking question of all, if their influence continues today, hidden in ways we cannot yet recognize, are we truly in control of our destiny, or are we still being shaped by forgotten powers from an ancient age? The Bible does not only speak of the physical world, it reveals an invisible realm where spiritual entities continue to operate, influencing the history and destinies of nations. One clear example of this is found in Daniel 10:13, where an angel is delayed by a being referred to as the prince of the kingdom of Persia. This confrontation lasts for 21 days until the archangel Michael comes to assist. This is not a mere metaphorical tale, it's a direct affirmation that unseen forces are actively intervening in the course of human history, even if they remain invisible to the naked eye. When we connect this detail with the hypothesis about the sons of God, a compelling possibility emerges. What if some of them never disappeared but continue to operate quietly behind the veil of history? They could be watchers, overseers, or even manipulators of world powers and global shifts that we often mistake as coincidence. Could it be that the stories of fallen angels and spiritual battles in the Bible are only the visible part of a much older and ongoing war fought between ancient beings who once witnessed the very act of creation? And here comes the critical question. Are we truly prepared to confront that possibility? The creation story we know might only be a fragment of a far greater plan. The Bible repeatedly hints at mysteries not yet fully revealed, truths that unfold only to those willing to question and dig deeper. If the sons of God were present before humanity existed, if they witnessed the birth of the cosmos and at times intervened in humanity's key historical moments, then what does that mean for us today? According to traditional views, humanity is considered the centerpiece of God's creation. But what if Adam and Eve were not the beginning of everything, but rather a transition, ushering in a new phase within a much larger divine agenda? If that's the case, the entire cosmic picture we've been taught may need to be redrawn. The Bible is not solely focused on the material world. It reveals that there are spiritual kingdoms, hierarchies of supernatural entities, and operational systems far beyond human comprehension. Within that context, it's possible that humanity is not the first creation, but a successive layer, part of a new order that followed the end of a prior age. So what then is the relationship between mankind and these ancient entities? Have they truly withdrawn, or are they still quietly active? And if they do still exist, could it be that we are living in the midst of an ongoing spiritual war, one that most of humanity is completely unaware of? These are not merely theological speculations. They open up an entirely new perspective on human origins, on the cosmos, and on our true role within the grand design of God's creation. If the sons of God existed before humanity, then clearly the act of creation was never centered solely on mankind, as we once thought. Humanity is only a part of a greater plan, a grand narrative that God began before time itself and continues to unfold even now. The Bible clearly states that God entrusted the earth to humankind for stewardship, but this responsibility is not merely physical, it carries deep spiritual weight. In Genesis 1:26, God said, "Let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion over all the earth." This verse affirms that humans are not merely intelligent beings, but also carry within them a divine element, created with both a material and spiritual mission. It's a union of earthly dominion and sacred responsibility within the Creator's plan. If before mankind existed, the sons of God were rulers or overseers of creation, then the arrival of Adam could mark a monumental shift in the cosmic order. Perhaps God was establishing a new structure, entrusting governance to humans and inviting them into his divine plan. But the question remains, have we truly fulfilled that mission? Or are we repeating the same mistakes as some of those spiritual beings, those once granted authority, who rebelled and lost their place in glory? Looking across the entire Bible, we cannot ignore the ongoing conflict between light and darkness, between obedience and rebellion. This battle didn't begin with humans. It may be a continuation of an ancient war where powerful entities chose either to stand with God or betray him. The Apostle Paul makes this very clear in Ephesians 6:12, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness in high places." This implies that spiritual beings are still active, perhaps some of the sons of God, who fell or who were removed from their original positions. They are not silent observers. They may be actively influencing history, impacting humanity more deeply than we realize. Yet if there are forces working to lead mankind astray, there are also those still loyal to God, preserving divine order and supporting his plan. The battle is not only in the heavenly realm, but also woven into our daily lives. And the most important truth is this: we are not bystanders. Each of us holds a role in this ongoing conflict. Perhaps the true purpose of humanity's creation was not merely to live on earth, but to participate in God's great plan, a plan that requires choice, faith, and action. And if that is true, then we cannot continue living unaware of our role in this larger story. Whether you believe it or not, each person is contributing to the history of the universe, a story still being written day by day. After all we've explored together, the final question is yours to answer. What do you think about all of this? If the sons of God truly existed before humans, and if their influence continues in the world today, does that change the way you see creation, human history, and our true role in God's design? Are we truly walking the path we were meant to follow? Or are we still searching for our place in a grander design our eyes have yet to fully comprehend? If what we know is only a small piece of the whole picture, if there are still mysteries left unsolved, truths hidden since the beginning, then the question becomes, are we truly ready to face that truth? Perhaps the truth is already in front of us, but we have not been ready to see it. We often search for answers in books, but miss the most important element. The act of seeking and questioning may itself be part of the journey God intends for us. When you study the Bible carefully, you'll find that many things are not fully explained, and it is precisely these gaps that challenge us to think, question, and explore, not just to understand creation, but to grasp the deeper meaning of existence itself. From the sons of God to the creation of man, to the hidden spiritual battles that rage beyond the visible, these elements call us to move beyond traditional boundaries and seek truth for ourselves. But the question is, are we willing to go beyond the limits to pursue that truth? Now it's time for me to hear from you. Which theory do you find most plausible? Do you believe the sons of God are angels, pre-existent souls, or beings from a creation that predates Adam? Share your thoughts, because you too are part of the ongoing conversation that opens the door to untold revelations. If this content made you think and inspired you to explore deeper, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so we can continue uncovering the mysteries of creation and the spiritual world together. And always remember this: truth is ever present. The real question is, are we truly ready to see it?